Hey y'all, welcome to Being Young and Blessed. My name is Ty,
And my name is Bakari.
and on this podcast, we want young people to know it's cool to know, love, and rep God. Now, this is our first episode we are
Yes.
filming, so we're going to keep it light today,
Mm-hmm.
but be sure we will be diving in deep.
Yes. I'm just so excited. How do you feel? How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel good. I feel like this is a really good start.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think I would want it with anybody else.
Yeah, we've been feeling good about this.
Yes. And it's crazy how fast it happened. I
I
definitely
know.
believe in God having a orchestrated plan, because it just happened so fast. We talked about it, but sometimes those plans fall through, but we just stuck to it.
I know.
So this is feeling really official, So we hope that you guys will, support and, we just want to really make a difference in the world and be a voice for people, who don't have a voice.
Yes.
So basically, yeah, we're going to keep it light. This podcast, we definitely want to give you guys an introduction to who we are, what we're doing now, how we've come to know God, and, the purpose of why we wanted to create this podcast.
Yes. So, me and Bakari, we have our set things that we want to talk about and hit, but we're going to be going off topic.
Yeah, so
we love talking and conversating for sure.
Yes. So so basically we known each other for a very long time.
A long time.
I think we were kids. We were like 6, 7, something like that.
Yeah,
It
literally.
Was pretty much most of our life, since childhood.
Yes. So, Bakari is the brother of Aziz and Afia. My true first friends that I've ever made in my life. I always seem to tell them you are my first friends I've ever had in my life.
Yes.
Super grateful for both of them. And
Rest in peace, Aziza.
Yes.
We just lost her earlier this year. An amazing spirit. And she was a bright light in this dark world. So we definitely want to honor her as well.
This is honoring her.
Yes.
It seems like we've been spending a lot of time with each other since the funeral.
Yeah.
And this has been born.
Right.
Look where we are now, right now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So this is definitely in honor of her.
Yes.
Yeah, and just as much as I love them, I love you.
Yes, I love you too. And, it's just crazy how, God orchestrates things, I would have never imagined this, unfolding the way it does. But, that's just how God works. He works in mysterious ways. And, as you get to know him yourself, you will appreciate his ways.
Yes. Yes, young people, we are here to bring you closer to God, to enhance that relationship that you have.
It's so important.
We are so excited about the topics that we are going to be bringing forth. We have short-term goals and long-term goals for this podcast because we are doing this for the long run. This is not just a little activity that we're trying out. No, we are doing this for the long run.
Yes.
We have goals, things that we want to really accomplish, and just do God's work. We ask God to just use us.
Yes, exactly. And, nobody's perfect. We're not perfect. So we want to be as transparent as possible. We want to be honest and, just real with everybody, because we don't want to push people away. We want to bring people closer to God. So I'm 31 years old, Pittsburgh native, grew up around Pittsburgh,
all over.
All over. We've been around a lot. So, and, I really appreciate Pittsburgh. A lot of people here, they have their things that they don't like, but I've grown to appreciate how unique Pittsburgh is, and how close knit it is. And, you know, I've been to other cities and things, and I don't know, there's just something about Pittsburgh that's different, you know. So I'm excited to be back here, you know, because last year I had went away and traveled, and I lived in Georgia for a while, but, you know, those things weren't aligning for me. That wasn't what God had planned for me, you know. It's just crazy how when I heard his voice and I came back here, everything just started to align really, really fast, you know.
Because you were here for your family just in time.
Yes, exactly. So I trusted his voice. And, you know, where I'm at in life right now, like just overall, I have such an excitement for God. And, you know, I just want to share that he is so magnificent, you know, like nobody can take my joy, you know, like this is something that he's poured into me. He can pour it into all of us. You know, we start our life with that childlike innocence, that joy, you know, and I think that as we get older and society hardens us, we lose that.
Yeah.
But I think that that's something that we shouldn't lose. And you can get it back, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, like, I'm just so joyous. Like, nobody can steal this joy from me, you know. Yes, I'm still going to have difficulties. I'm still going to have trials and tribulations. But they don't seem as hard on me because I know who is on my team.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So it's just, I don't know. I'm just excited to let people know that he is real, you know, and he works in your life. You only need so much faith, you know.
They say as a mustard seed. Have you ever seen a mustard seed?
It's tiny, y'all.
It's so tiny.
Look, I want y'all to Google after this. Google what a mustard seed looks like, y'all. It is tiny. Like, you can barely see it.
Yes.
And that's so all. That's
how much faith you need to have.
That's it.
Like,
and you can move a mountain. So imagine having greater faith. What all you can do, you know? Yes.
See, y'all, I'm telling you, these conversations me and Bakari be having are real. You know, it's so real. But I'll do my intro. So I'm Ty. I am 29. I'm about to hit the big 3-0.
Okay.
In a few months.
Yes, that's exciting. Do you have anything planned for 30? That's a special year.
I want a celebration. I want to celebrate with my family, my friends, and my children. But I'm still trying to work those things out, those details out. God will give it to me.
Yes, exactly.
But yes, I am a mom. I'm a wife.
Yes.
To God be the glory.
Amen.
I'm super grateful for my children and my husband. They keep me leveled.
Yes.
They keep me grounded.
And
I need that.
Yes.
I definitely need that. I'm a student. I carry a lot of titles. Mom,
you have many hats.
Wife, student, mentor.
Yes.
Sister, friend, aunt. I carry a lot of titles. And God handles it for me. Like, I don't feel burden of any of those titles.
Okay.
I feel like I'm carrying this weight.
Yes.
I'm carrying it, like carrying it well.
Yes.
I don't look like what I've been through.
Amen. Oh, that's another topic. Yes.
Yes. Super grateful for where I'm at right now spiritually. Working on myself mentally, working through, past traumas and grief, is really huge on me right now, but I'm working through it.
Yes.
Spiritually, I am just thirsty.
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Thirsty
for knowledge and more growth.
Oh my goodness. Like, I tell you, Bakari, I'm in my word.
Yes.
I'm in my word. I'm in my word. And I'm grateful.
Amen.
I'm just super grateful. I'm so happy that we are here right now.
Yes.
Doing God's work. And it, just like you said, it came naturally. Like, it just flowed. That's how you know God is in the midst of it all.
Yes.
You know, we found this studio that we are right now so fast.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's almost like there wasn't a real struggle at all, you know?
No, it was like March 1st is open. Should we take it? And I'm like, let's take it. And you're like, that's next week. And I'm like, listen, let's do it.
Yeah. I was off, you know, this is my off day, you know, you're still on spring break.
Right.
Like it just worked out. And I think that's another important thing is like if you really want to do something or you think that something is for you in life, then it will pass. You know, you just got to put in that little bit of work, put in that faith. And if it's truly aligned for you, it will happen, you know, and it'll happen with ease because that's God's will. He has the final say. So when he wants you to move and it's for you, things will happen like that in the snap of a finger.
Absolutely.
You know, that could be a telltale sign that yes, you are on the right track.
You are on the right track.
Because some things won't work out. If rejection is God's protection.
Oh, I love saying that. That's one of my favorite sayings.
Yes.
That is one of my favorite sayings.
Yes.
Because it is so true.
And you be so mad like, oh, why didn't it work out? Why didn't it work out? But when you understand that, you know, God is in the midst of everything and working things out, you understand, whoa, well, maybe he's seeing something that I didn't see. Maybe he heard a conversation that I didn't hear. Maybe
closed doors.
He felt somebody's bad intentions that I can't see. And he stopped that. You know what I'm saying? And he's redirecting it.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy because, you know, I've tried to, even with the podcast and things, I had many ideas of wanting to start this. And I knew I didn't want to do it alone. I knew it's important to have, you know, partnerships and connections. And, you know, if I've tried to, you know, share this idea with others to see if it will work out. And, you know, nothing. Yeah, the energy just wasn't there. It seemed like I was more excited than. So when we had this idea and then you came with me with that energy, it's like, whoa, let me match her back.
Yes.
Like, you know, this is real. You know, she's not playing, you know. So it's just crazy how things just align, you know. You know, our sister just passed away untimely. You know, she was 29, about to be 30. And that's such a tragic situation that, you know, we're still coping with. But look what came out of it, you know, like it brought us back together and now we've created something out of it.
If God is for us, who could be against us?
Listen, like that's powerful.
Yes.
So I want to I guess we can go into like how we've come to know God, you know, because I feel like that's important, you know, for you guys to see how, you know, how God works in our lives. You know, God works in all of our lives, you know, and it's up to us to want to believe it and walk in it. You know, it's up to us to choose if we're going to suffer or are we going to choose a higher route, a higher perspective.
Right.
And I just want y'all to know that, you know, we aren't perfect. No. We're never going to be perfect, but I want y'all to know, like, we've been through some stuff. You might think that we haven't, or you might think, you know, people who know us think we
don't look like what we've been
through. So exactly. And it's important for other people to know that, you know, you can go through things, but guess what? You don't have to have this cookie cutter lifestyle for God to love you. You know, matter of fact, if you have that cookie cutter lifestyle, I'm pretty sure God's probably not in your life.
He's missing. He's missing in action.
He's missing in action for real. So basically, you know.
So how have you come to know God for yourself?
For myself. So let me start with basically, let's go back a little bit to like when I was a little younger. You know, as a child, I've always had this weird supernatural like connection to like the other world, spiritual world. You know, I'd have a lot of vivid dreams. I would feel different things, feel different spirits and things like that. I really didn't understand any of it, you know. And, you know, as I moved through childhood, I experienced a lot of, you know, I've dealt with a lot of trauma, you know, early on in life, you know, throughout my childhood, which, you know, I've I've grown to be proud of, because it's made me the person who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, growing up, I could never really be my authentic self, and that's something that I've always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I'm going to be transparent with y'all. I wasn't confident, as a child through my teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
That confidence was taken away from me. It was beat out of me. It was my joy was killed. I lost that joy for life, the love of life. Um, I've dealt with depression from a very early on. Imagine you as a kid and all you know is to be yourself, and you're told that yourself isn't good enough, or you're told that you need to correct your ways because that's not acceptable, like
to
someone else.
Yeah.
Exactly. Imagine, your whole life you go and everything you do is hated. How you walk, how you talk, it doesn't fit their description of who you should be. So, I've dealt with so much depressing thoughts. I was very depressed for a long time. I felt a lot of dark spirits around me. I felt like I was always being mocked and laughed at and picked on. I felt shameful for who I was, So I've closed myself off. I've been through a very dark period of life. So I understand, that we go through things in life, and how I've come to know God is, there was a period in life where I was probably at the climax of my depression, or I thought so at the time. I graduated high school at 17. So when I went to college, I went right into college. And, because of all the things I went through as a kid, I didn't, my social skills weren't there. My confidence wasn't there. Just me trying to be me in a world that is, so judgmental and dark. I struggled that first year in college, because I didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
I was lost in a sea of emotions and judgment and shame, that I couldn't even see clearly. And I remember a point in time where I had literally broke down in my dorm room crying out to God. I think that was the first time that I've ever reached out to something outside of me, a higher power. That was like, I was in tears. I just cried out to him like, God, please give me a message.
Yeah.
And I had my Bible in my hand and I just opened the book randomly. And this is crazy. This is how you know God is real and he speaks to you, because when I opened the book, the quote Hosea 6:1 verse 1 and 2 actually popped out. That was the page I opened up to. And I'm just going to read you what that Hosea 6:1 through 2 is.
Yes.
It says, "Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but will bind up our wounds. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the third day, he will restore us that we may live in his presence." Like, that quote was literally made for me in that moment.
Like, it saved your life.
It saved my life. I resonated with it so well because I felt like I was broken down.
Yes.
I felt like I was torn up and torn to pieces.
Yes.
And so for me to see that in God saying, listen, I know that you were torn up. I'm the one who put you through that. So that way you could see your value. You could see your power. But at the time I didn't know it, but I knew that, okay, now God is listening.
Yeah.
So from that point on, I've been working on developing a relationship with him. I didn't know that the road was going to be so rocky, after that, because I still dealt with depression even after that moment of him opening up. I still dealt with moments of not trusting him and questioning myself. And, it was a process, but I think that was like the starting point of where my faith would just unravel. And so from that day on, that message means so much to me because looking back to who I was to where I am now, like I was still getting tore up and beat down even after that, you know, throughout my 20s. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until my like mid to late 20s is that, you know, I had like an awakening. Like, you know, it was like I was doing too much. I was moving, living that fast life. I was never at home. I was always out somewhere, being a people pleaser.
Around people.
Yes. And, you know, drinking and smoking all the time, just not overly indulging in everything, even sex too, because, you know, when you deal with certain traumas, this is how you cope with it if you don't know how to heal, you know. And I know that there are people out here who've been through worse than I have, you know, going through childhood trauma, but that's okay. You know, you have to use that as leverage to become better. And, you know, so, you know,
it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process, but I just wanted, like, it's just crazy because I thought even after, because sometimes we think, oh, okay, God heard our prayer.
It's going to change.
It's going to happen overnight.
Right now. Yeah.
We want that fix. We want that change so quickly, and it doesn't work like that. It takes time. Like it, you know.
Obedience.
Yes.
Consistency. Focus. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And blocking out those extra people and environments and sounds. Like, you know what I mean? Just taking time for yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think also listening to his voice, going within, quieting your mind, because, you know, then I started to pay attention to more signs. Like in my mid 20s, like 26, 27, I started paying attention to signs. I started seeing like 9/11 a lot that time. And I just started seeing different synchronicities. And I'm like, wait, something is trying to get my attention. And I knew I was depressed all the time, and I knew I wanted more, you know, and I just wasn't being fulfilled. But as I kept paying more attention to those signs around me, that's when I started to pick up like, whoa, God is really trying to get your attention. He's really trying to work on you. And I just had like an aha moment, like in like 2017, where I'm like, okay, this has got to change.
Yeah, something's got to change.
And I started to like work on myself. Yes. You know what I'm saying? I started to heal those parts of me that I thought couldn't be loved. I started to, you know, because God started giving me messages. He started giving me messages through videos, through movies, through numbers, through signs, to let me know that I am enough. You know, I've had like a huge part of my life where, you know, something bad happened, and that's what woke me up. Like, whoa, it's time to change, you know. And sometimes that happens, you know, because I'll be honest, I can be a little stubborn, and I know that. But you know, God will humble you, and I got humbled, you know. And in him humbling me, I was able to wake up and see, whoa, I gotta change, you know what I'm saying. And as I started to work on healing me in the insides, you know, and allowing him to pour into me through people, through messages and things, he starts to work on your heart, you know, and it starts to become lighter. And as you heal, you start to become a better person, and then you start to appreciate life more.
Thinking different.
Yes. And unconditional love is real, because once you start to learn to have unconditional love for you, how God has loved unconditional love for us, that's when your life really begins to change. Because again, we're not perfect. So if you can love yourself through the pain that you endured, the pain that you caused yourself, the stuff that you got yourself into, you know, we judge ourselves. People judge us for stuff that we go through, but again, we're not perfect. And you know, that's where it has to be. I feel like you have to start loving yourself through it all. Yeah, you made a mistake and you messed up, but guess what? I'm gonna get right back up. And I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna still love myself, okay? Because there was things I didn't know. I could only be I was the best that I could be at that time and in that moment. You know, so like it's been a journey of how I've come to know God, and it's just such a beautiful thing, because as you continue on in life and you have that faith and you move with faith, he will keep revealing more of himself to you. And as you walk in your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing, he reveals more and you receive more. So it's a beautiful thing, you know. I'm just so thankful for, and again, this is an unconventional way of how you get to know God. You know, like I had to go through darkness to realize, whoa, I need him in my life, you know, but I don't hold myself to my past like, oh my gosh, I'm not worthy of his love because of what I've done. No, you are worthy of his love. And that's what he wants you to know, that it doesn't matter what you've been through in life. It doesn't matter, you know, all the pain and heartache. It doesn't matter what sins you've done that you're shameful of. He's not shameful of that. Forgive yourself, release it, and love yourself through it. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. I want to ask you, how have you come to know God? You know, because we all have our own different ways of how we've come to know him, you know, so it's just interesting to hear how God will bring you together through your own pain and darkness. So, Ty, how have you come to know him?
So I like to start with my mom. Shout out to my mom.
Yes, I love her.
We're definitely going to have her as a guest.
Absolutely.
We have that on our long-term goal.
It's a must. Yes.
I like to start with my mom because it was me and my mom all my childhood. You know, and she was a teen parent. So we grew up together, and I lived through, you know, her mistakes and her lessons that, you know, that she had to work through. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the fact that I see the woman that she is today, the godly woman that she is today, it was validation that I knew God was real.
Wow.
And the way she praises and worships him and talks so highly of him. I'm just like, I've seen it. Like,
you were a firsthand witness.
I seen it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I seen it, and I'm super appreciative of that too. And then meeting my husband, we met in high school. We were like in 9th grade when we met. I mean, people like counted him out threw dirt on his name. Really just, he has his own story. He has his own testimony. It
sounds like he needs to be another guest too on our our guest list is about to start lining up, y'all.
We're gonna have him. So it's just, I think mainly through my mom and my husband, seeing them in their transformations. I mean, I've always known God was real.
Right.
I've always prayed. But to know God for myself, I look at what he's done for the people that I love the most.
Wow.
Like, I witnessed their testimonies. They walk different, they talk different, they look different.
Wow.
I mean, completely.
Woo! 180 transformation.
Literally. We will be out at a grocery store or anything, and people will see my husband, and they'll be like, oh my goodness, where have you been? And I think they probably thought he was long dead somewhere.
Wow.
In jail or something.
Counted him out.
And I tell him that all the time. So I'd mainly look at the work that God has did for the people in my life. You know, but for me, like I said, I always known he was real. I've always prayed. But it came a time where I felt like the people that I've always leaned and confided in were separating themselves from me. Because I've always had somebody to lean on or to confide in. And once I felt like those people were separating, they were being separated from me, I'm like, I don't have anybody else. So that's when I leaned and confided into God. This is why I am digging into the word so much right now. Because I'm like, I don't only just want to pray and know that he's there. Right. I actually want to dig deep. I want to dig deep. Yes. I'm into the word. I am into the word.
Amen.
And I've gotten to a point spiritually, even to where I don't even want to be surrounded by anything that he's not present in.
That's powerful.
The music that I'm listening to has changed. The environments that I like being around
the people changed. You're hanging around.
The people I'm talking to on a daily basis has changed.
Yes.
Like, it's literally like,
Isn't that like a testimony to your own growth when you can acknowledge that,
Yeah.
wait, I'm not around the same people anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like doing these old things that I used to do.
Right.
Like, because your mind is renewed.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that powerful?
Yeah.
That when he renews your mind, he renews your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And my mom calls it metamorphosis.
I love that. Yes.
I'm in my metamorphosis stage. And
Yes.
she actually does a program called Metamorphosis where she brings in women, you know, and they pretty much display their testimonies through art.
Oh, okay.
Whether that's spoken word, dance, or, you know, acting or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she's always said, Ty, I want you on here. I want you to do it. I want you to do it. But I'm like, Mom, I don't have a testimony. I don't have a testimony. I kept saying that.
Wow.
Until maybe like within the last 3 years, where like those people that was so used to having were being separated from me, or even passing away. You know, I lost my grandmothers like back to back. I lost my sister,
wow,
Aziza. Like, you know what I mean? So like I'm a living testimony.
Yes. Wow.
I'm a living testimony right now. I'm just super grateful.
Isn't that beautiful that, so when you said you don't have a testimony, I think it's interesting that, you know, because we all have testimonies. I just feel like, you know, we have different timelines for like how God works in my life is not going to be on the same time that he works in your life, you know, and with anybody. And, the fact that you acknowledge like, whoa, I don't have a testimony. I think that rings true to the fact that sometimes you still have to go through some things before you get, you know, to the other side of that, you know, of what you're going through, you know, because, or you might be in the middle of going through something. So you can't really see your way out. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's so important to just acknowledge that, you know, we all have testimonies, and don't look at somebody else's life and think, oh, I don't have a testimony. You do. You might still be going through that.
Yes.
You know, and that's where you just need to trust in God to know that he's pulling you and doing something and working on you.
Yes.
Because eventually you will have a testimony. You will get to the other side and see, whoa, look how far I've come.
Right.
You know, I also think that just remaining grateful for all that you have, you know what I'm saying? Because somebody's always doing worse than you.
It's true.
And, you know, I think that a lot of times we get into the victim mindset of, oh, woe is me. Why does this keep happening? Instead of taking the higher perspective or the higher thoughts. And I think also that goes into just learning more about God and who he is. I think a part of that is reading the word, because that'll help strengthen your faith.
Yes.
You know, there's so many scriptures, there's so many things that God has that will show you who he is and his power. And even if, let's say, you don't want to read the Bible, say you don't want to read the scripture for whatever. I mean, I think it's great, even if you're not a Christian or even if you're not highly religious, because I'm more on the spiritual side. Trust me, there's a lot of jewels in there. And there's so much that he will speak to your soul and strengthen it. But even if you don't do that, in your own personal life, he will show up.
Yeah.
If you're open to receiving his messages.
Yep.
You know, and you call out to him, he's not a man that he'll lie. He's not a man that he's limited in his thinking. That's another thing, is that we try to limit him.
Yeah,
you know,
he's in this box.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's unlimited in his ways and his thinking and his love. You could find God in a pigeon on the corner.
Yes.
You might look at that bird on the corner and then boom, a thought comes into your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to start looking at God like that. And he's unlimited in his ways, and he's mysterious in his ways. So the more that you're open to receive his messages through anything, you become, you become a vessel for him to speak through you, you know?
Yeah. Like you are able to say that your testimony goes back from when you were a kid even to your adult life. You know what I mean? And I know that he's carried me through so much that I maybe can't remember or recite or anything like that.
Yes.
But I know right now I'm walking in the spirit of it's just me and him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's just me and him.
Yes.
It's just me and him. This
you got tunnel vision.
Yes, this is where I'm at right now.
And I think that's an important step in the process is you have to separate yourself from everybody. There's a time when it has to just be you and him in the walk.
Yes.
Because you know, that's where he works on you.
People will steer you to the left.
Yes.
Steer you to the right.
And that's how you truly heal wholly, when it's just you and him. There were many, many days where I used to work downtown a lot, and there was many days that I would bawl my eyes out every day after work. And I would just walk to the point, and I would just put on my music, and I'd be just crying my eyes out. Healing. But it was just me and him.
Right.
Every day, me and him. He's hearing my pleas. And in that silence and in you being alone with him, it's so important to be okay with being alone with him, because you're never lonely if you understand that he's with you at all time.
Yep.
You know, so it's definitely important to have just you and him. So I'm glad that you can see that it just needs to be you and him sometimes, and it don't need to be you and your partner or you and your mother or you know, you have to let go of those people for a period of time, and just walk in it with you. And another thing of how you know God is real is, everyone on this podcast that's listening right now, you're here, you're alive, you're breathing. So whatever you went through, it doesn't matter, because look where you're at. You're still here, which means you've survived 100% of everything you've been through.
100%.
You know, 100%, because you're still here. So what are you tripping over that your life isn't where it needs to be right now? Just relax, let go, because obviously you've survived everything. And there were times in your life where you didn't know how you were going to get through, but you still managed to get through. That's God. That was God holding you. Yes, he has a purpose in your life still. If you are still here, if you're listening to this podcast, you are alive and well. Your life's not over. Your life is not over. You have a purpose.
God is so intentional.
Yes.
God is so intentional. And like you said, earlier off recording, you said something like, you got to take your hands up off of it, because a lot of times we're in our own way. Yes. You got to take your hands up off of it and say, God, I surrender.
Yes.
I'm letting you have it, Lord, and I trust you. You know what I mean? I love that.
Right. And trust me, it's not always easy to let go, because, you know, we want to try to control things or, you know, take things in our own hand. But when you do that, you realize that it don't work out.
And it probably creates a whole nother world of mess.
That you got to clean up. Because there was a point in life where I know my mindset was not including God. Like, he was just compartmentalized, you know, and that's another reason why the purpose of our podcast that we're doing, we want to break down these misconceptions that people have, you know, about God. Like, you have to be a certain way. You have to look a certain way. You have to talk a certain way. You have to live a certain way. And then we compartmentalize him like, oh, he's only on Sunday, or he's only in the physical church. When he's everywhere. He's all around us. He's through our being. He's, you know, you have to start realizing that he's universal. You know, and you have to bring him into every aspect of your life. You can't just put him off for certain things.
And only when you want something.
And that's another thing. Only calling on him or praising him whenever your life is good. Of course you going to. You good.
Right.
But where's your faith when everything isn't going? He wants to see how you think and operate when things are going bad.
Right.
Do you have that faith to pull you through?
Are you still going to pray and look
yes.
to me? Yeah.
Because it's easy when you're being fed and taken care of.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, okay, so when he pulls his energy back or he puts you in a test, because he'll test you.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're claiming that you're of God and you're a child of him, then you need to represent him accordingly. So he'll put you through tests. And other people will test you.
Oh, yeah.
And
we were just tested on our way here.
Ooh, listen.
Y'all, we were tested.
Listen.
And I said, Bakari, you know that's how we're doing God's work.
Yes.
Because the devil, he tried to slide right in there. I mean, slide. The car.
He was literally in between both of us.
He was in between us. Y'all, a car was in between Bakari's car and my car. He was in between us, swerving, slamming on his brakes, screaming out his window, pointing at both of us.
Like, it was intense. Like, I don't know. Mentally, he wasn't all there.
But he was being used.
Yes.
He was being used.
And that's another thing. Like, you know, God has his people who he will use, but Satan also can be a he can use anybody.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're operating out of a low vibration, you will be used.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To come up against, you know what I'm saying, what God is trying to do.
So let's break some of the topics down that we want to, share with our viewers in the upcoming episodes.
Yes. So, yeah, we want to just share a few of the topics that, we plan to talk to you guys about. Also, make sure that, you guys leave comments on topics you want us to talk about. We are open-minded. Yes. Again, we understand that God works in every aspect of your life. So no topic really should be off limit. We have that mindset where we can discuss, things in a healthy manner,
and we're gonna pray on each topic.
Yes, and do our research.
Ask God to give us, the words to say.
Yes,
for sure. That is just like this podcast is healing, and it's purposeful. It's not. I mean, it's loose. It's like we're loose. We're not all tense. Yeah. We're not all tensed and formal. But,
and that's how we want to set that mood, because again, the purpose of this podcast is to bring people to God, to understand that it's okay to have your own personal relationship with him, and you don't have to be a certain way. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't need to feel judged for what you've been through, because a lot of people in religion will try to project their insecurities onto you and push people away from God. And you're doing the very opposite of what you were supposed to be doing. We're not here to judge you. We're not here to tell you how you should live your life. I'm not here to say, yes, that's right or wrong.
Right.
We are literally just here to look, this is God. This is how we know him. This is how we've come to know him.
Right.
Here he is. Take it and realize that you can do the same. Yep. You don't have to be a certain way or anything. So, one of the topics that, we were discussing, and you brought up the spirit of Ruth. I just talk a little bit about that just for a little bit. We're only going to give you a snippet because these are just topics that we plan to elaborate on. But I think that was something powerful that you shared with me, and how you've come to just, Ruth is one of the characters in the Bible. And I just want you to just briefly talk about, the spirit of Ruth and how you even came to how that came to you.
Oh my goodness. Like, I dreamed about it. I dreamed about the name Ruth, and I'm like, Ruth? I don't, when you think about the Bible, you think of the books, John, Peter, Jesus.
The main characters.
Yeah, the main characters. And I'm like, Ruth? I know Ruth is in the Bible, but I'm like, why am I dreaming about Ruth right now? But at the time, I was going through processing Aziza's death, and I was grieving.
Wow.
And Ruth in the Bible suffered great grief. She lost her husband and both sons. And that's another part that I resonated with, is because I have a husband and 2 sons.
Wow.
And she went through great deaths of grief. And in the midst of her grief, she ran away and tried to start over, but ended up meeting another woman that was grieving too. And in the midst of that, she was able to still be there for this woman.
Mm.
You know, help this woman process her grief
Mm.
and still feel love and so forth. And I'm like, wow. And Afia even said I was that for her.
Wow.
She was like, I mean, I know I was grieving and I know you were grieving, but you were still able to be that for me. And I'm like, Ruth, now I understood, because I'm reading the Bible and I'm not understanding. I'm asking my mom, like, can you help me process this? But it just took time to resonate. And that's what a lot of times that's what scripture does. You know, you're reading it, but you're not really understanding it. Sometimes you do have to just take a moment, a day or two, and let it resonate with you. And then I had got the message that women with the Ruth anointing are diligent, faithful, patient, and hardworking, looking to the promises of God set before them. No matter what is happening in their lives, they do not shut down. They get to work. They do not give in to lazy and slothful spirits. They know what to do to keep themselves full of hope and assurance.
Wow.
And that is me. That is
God
me.
was speaking to you.
Literally. And then it's through a dream.
See?
Through my dream. All he had to do was place the name on me. And I woke up and said, God, I'm on it.
See how you acknowledge that he came through you to a dream?
Yeah.
Because like I said, he's everywhere. So if you compartmentalize God is in just
only
the
when
church,
I'm awake.
Right, then you'll miss that whole message that he's trying to send you.
Yep.
And that's powerful, because now, see, that was an example. You were able to look up a story within the Bible, a person, a character, a spirit that experienced the same thing you did.
Yeah.
And look how she was able to make it through.
Yep.
So that gives you hope and strengthens your faith that you're going to make it through.
Yep. Yep.
That's powerful.
I love it.
And so that, and when she brought that to me, I'm like, whoa, we need an episode just the spirit of Ruth.
Yes.
Because that's a whole topic we can get into. You know, we all go through things in life. But what Ruth did is somebody was going through something worse than her, and she was still able to lend her love and her guidance, you know, to somebody else. So that's important, because, you know, she was diligent. She was
she was patient. She was faithful.
Wow.
She never lost faith. She was faithful.
Despite all that she went through.
Despite all of it, she didn't give in to lazy and slothful spirits.
And we could talk about the story of Job too in relation to Ruth, because he lost a lot of people too. Yeah. And it rings true. We go through these same things. Yeah. We lose things. We lose people, you know, and it serves as a testimony for us, you know, and our faithfulness, you know. So that's I'm
excited for that. I'm excited for that.
Another topic we want to get into is, why do young people why don't they have faith, or why they lose faith? That's another topic we want to get into now, because, you know, there's so much darkness in this world. It seems like in every aspect of society, they've pulled God out.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like, there's no hope for anybody. You know, people have lost hope because everything around them is just chaos.
Yeah. It's so demonic.
It is. And so we really want to just discuss that, you know, like why. But it's also important to know that this is why you shouldn't be of this world, and you shouldn't focus on physical all the time.
Yep.
You know, because there's a whole spiritual world that's working and transforming.
Yes.
And, you know, you have to know and believe that things are working out for the better.
Yep.
Because in this day and time that we're in now, you have to have faith. Because what you see right now,
oh my goodness,
you wouldn't think God is here and he's working. That's the power that Satan has. The illusion that there's no God here.
God's not
the
winning
illusion
right
that God's not winning. The illusion that God's not in control. So that's why you have to have faith and believe. Because this demonic entity is fooling you to think that he's not in control, that God's not in control.
Yeah.
Because he's controlling this physical realm we're in right now.
This false narrative.
Exactly. It's an illusion. But God's about to rip that veil down.
Hello.
Okay?
Okay.
And you will see the truth.
I'm excited.
And you just have to, that's why you have to get right, y'all. Get right. Clean your spirit up.
Yeah.
Clean it up. listen, whatever you've done in the past, let that go. We don't care. We don't care. Build a connection with God, your own personal connection. That's the next topic we want to talk about on here, is building your own personal relationship with God, because once you build up that relationship, can't nobody tell you differently.
Yeah.
And once he start working in your life and you see, oh, he's real, can't nobody knock you down. Can't nobody knock your faith.
Nobody can convince you of anything.
Like, I'm going to share this on, the episode, but I'm going to share it right now just to give you an example of, okay, so I had a coworker come up to me and, she was like, I don't mean to offend you or whatever, but, your lifestyle, you're gay, you like men and you're a man. Like, you don't think God don't love you? Like, right then, look how Satan was about to tear down and steal my joy.
Right.
Because that's what he'll do.
Something that you work so hard for.
And in the past, I've allowed people to steal that.
Yep.
But because I'm so strengthened in my faith and I have such a strong personal relationship with him, and he's confirmed things for me. He's double confirmed things. He triple confirmed, quadruple confirmed things for me. You can't tell me nothing. So my response to her was different. I'm sure that she was shocked at my response, because I clearly told her, I said, oh, no, boo, I ain't worried about that. Because I said, I have a personal relationship with God. So me and him, we good. We good.
Yeah.
I said, this is why you should have a personal relationship with him, because then you'll know. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't offend me. She didn't kill my joy.
And neither did you offend her.
And I didn't offend her or get disrespectful.
Exactly.
And that shows you the power of how God can work on your heart.
Yes.
Because once you're confident, once he gives you that, he will pour confidence in you. He will say, listen, I have the final say. And he will work miracles in your life. You know how many times I wanted to give up on life? You know how many times I wanted to just kill myself? But every time I tried to give up, God put me right back. You ain't going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. So once he did that enough, okay, you're right. I ain't going nowhere.
I'm here.
There's nothing else I can do.
Use me,
so,
Lord.
But however y'all think or feel, that's on y'all. But guess what? I'm going to still live my life, and I know God loves me.
Amen.
So that's why it's important to have a personal relationship with God yourself. So yeah, we going to get into that topic too.
Excited.
Yes.
I'm excited about all of these topics.
Seriously, it needs to be had.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Another one we need to talk about is forgiveness. Isn't that such a powerful...
Listen, forgiveness, people are scared of that word. People are scared of that word.
Yes. Why do you think people are scared of that word? Or why do you think people don't really... Like, that word is so powerful, and it can transform your life in ways that you never thought are possible. Why do you think people are scared of that word or hate that word, or... Why do you think that?
I would say because people think to forgive, you're forgetting.
Yeah.
To forgive, you're forgetting.
Or you're giving somebody power.
Yeah, and that's not, I don't think that's the case.
Right.
But that's literally what those dark times and trauma will do to you.
Yes.
You really, and you have to work through that.
Yes.
You really have to work through that, and you have to pray that, like, that spirit
is off of you. Got to pray that spirit up off of you, and you have to really work hard and diligently.
Yeah.
That's forgiveness is not easy
it's
in this
process.
Day. Yeah, because we live in a society where people are so codependent. That's another topic we need to talk about, codependency, because when you have God in your life, you don't need to be codependent on somebody else's energy. And, a lot of the times, like, and turning the other cheek, that goes into forgiveness too, because in this day and age, it's like we're so quick to take an eye for an eye. Oh, you did me wrong, so I'm going to turn around and do you wrong. Oh, she don't like me, so I don't like her.
Yeah.
Oh, she did that, so she hit me, I'm going to hit her back.
Right.
Like, and so that's the sad society we live in. And so, you have to start moving differently if you want different results. You know what I'm saying? If you think because she hit you, you hit her, you think you ain't going to get hit back? No, because your consequences come from your actions. And that's what people need to realize, that you have to focus on your actions, not the other person. Yeah, they did you wrong, but
You're responsible for you.
Yeah, don't do them wrong. Turn the other cheek.
Yes, and see the outcome of that.
Yes.
See the outcome of that.
Yes. See, and I promise you it will be, because we get in this like, oh, I feel like I gotta have one up, or no, I can't let them get away.
Yeah.
But you're holding on to that, and they're out there living their lives.
Yeah. So really, they have the power.
They have the power, and that was something that woke me up, because here I am holding grudges, so angry at people. But I'm looking at them, and they don't even, that's not even an issue for them. So that's what woke me up, like, whoa, why am I still tripping on what they done? And they're out there living their life, their best life.
Right.
I need to live my best life.
Right.
Let me release that.
Yeah. Take your power back.
And I want to just bring up this point, and we'll go further into that when we get on that episode.
Right.
But I feel like forgiveness is for you. It's releasing that emotional baggage behind what they done. That's all it is it's you surrendering. It doesn't mean, I forget. It doesn't mean, I'm gonna let them keep doing that.
Right.
No, it just means, listen, I was hurt.
Yeah.
But now it's time to heal and let that go.
Yeah.
I won't forget what they've done. And if I have to be around them, then I'm going to place healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm going to protect my energy, protect my peace, my heart.
Yep.
But you can move differently.
Yep.
Because once that's off of your heart,
them bags.
Yes.
Bag lady.
Woo.
Bag lady.
Exactly.
Don't hurt your
you can't get on that flight because you got too much weighing you down.
Yes.
You're not going to get to your next destination because you got too much baggage. Sorry.
Listen,
access denied.
I'm excited for this. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I don't even understand. We're in the amount of days that brought us to this day. We put in some work.
Yes, we have.
I mean, it came easy.
Yeah,
but we put in some work.
I think it came easy because, first off, this is something that we probably are destined to do.
Yes.
But also, so much work that we've done on ourselves outside of this. Like, this is the end. This is the part now where, like, okay, it's time for God to show y'all off.
Yes.
Like, we've done the work in private. We put in the blood, sweat, and tears. So now God's like, listen, I need to use y'all. Yeah.
I need to use y'all.
I can't withhold y'all anymore. So yeah, this like, so we've put in the work, and now this is us. This is our life experience, y'all. Like, this is real for us. We're passionate about this.
This isn't our job. We're not getting paid.
We're not getting paid. No.
We're not getting paid. We're not
sponsored.
Nothing.
Like, no, this is just us on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And we just, like, this started from a conversation just like we're having right now.
Literally.
It just started.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, we need to do something.
Yeah, young people would love to hear from us.
Because you don't, like, a lot of times people associate, God's blessings and stuff with, like, elderly or older people, or you have to go through a lot of years.
Yeah.
You can be young and blessed. You can be young and rep God. You can be young and learn God and love. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. You don't have to be of a particular age doing a particular thing. You need to have life now, God in you now while you're young.
Yes.
So He can increase your lifespan. Why would you wait until
you're on your deathbed?
Exactly.
At 80, 90 years old.
Exactly. Why? And I think, and we can help other people. It's okay to face your demons. You have to face them. You have to face those shadow parts of you that, that you don't want people to know about. You have to go through a process to heal. And God will show you how to heal. But, one of the things that is important is you have to be real with yourself. You have to be accountable for your actions. You have to say, yes, I screwed up. But topic. God is trying to show me something else.
That's the topic. Be real with yourself.
Yes, be real with yourself. Be real, because how else will you move on? If you think everything is being done outside of you and there's nothing that you've done to cause what you've done, you're always going to just be thrown around in life instead of, okay, this is what I did.
Yeah.
I won't do that again.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real.
And you need to be real with yourself, but you also have to hold that space of compassion for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to be prepared for those weapons to be formed against you.
Yes, for sure.
You know, you have to acknowledge what you've been through. And you have to listen, just like you said. Listen.
Yes.
Let's listen for God. You know, and know His voice.
Exactly.
Know His voice.
For real. And so, we have some more topics.
Yes. Yeah.
That so we want to talk about also like rebirth, how that whole God will transform and renew your life literally, and you will rise up.
Yeah. You know, we have our birth date.
Yes.
But there's plenty of times where we go through rebirths.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, we're just excited to, share. Those were just some of the topics that we wanted to just give you an idea of what we're going to be doing on this podcast. We really want you guys to help us, share your ideas of anything that you want us to talk about. Anything, because, it's important for us to have these conversations. They're not being had. We can't keep gaslighting people, pretending these issues aren't here and not saying anything. No, we have to talk about these. We have to address these. There are real life solutions. It's just healthy to have open conversations.
Yeah.
So we want to have open conversations with you. And that is a wrap for this podcast. This is episode 1. Oh my gosh.
Come to a wrap.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I really want to thank everybody for listening, to the Being Young and Blessed podcast.
Being Young and Blessed.
Again, please check the description box on our YouTube channel for any information. If you want to send us any emails, anything like that, we have an email that you can send information to. We also want to make sure, please be sure to comment on our videos.
Yes.
Please subscribe to our videos. Please share our videos. Like, we want to have conversations around the world and connect with all types of young people everywhere, because there's a revolution happening, and I feel it, and I feel like it's going to be us, the young generation, to make this difference and make the change, okay?
Yes.
I just want y'all to know we love y'all. We thank y'all again for listening. And remember, it is cool to know, love, and rep God. Yes.
Amen.
Peace.